All right, y'all, it is Wednesday, January 1st, 2025, and we went out with a bang and started with a bang. Y'all, I intentionally waited until the end of the day for this one. We knew things were going to start coming, and that the drops and ripples were going to be happening, but baby, it... I mean, it started with a bang. Did it not? Did it not? Okay, let me see if I can keep all my thoughts straight on this, because so many things just happened between the 31st and the 1st that are, okay, I'm trying to think how can I explain them in the way that I'm thinking of them. Let me just start with this, okay? When Mr. Parnas, hang on, it's garden time, give me. Okay, that video of Mr. Parnas's, which has since come down, where he, voiced some personal opinions, which is not his usual thing, and it kind of showed us a couple things, but was also a little inaccurate in stating that things were just free and fair and there's no avenues, when, well, that's not true, because the actual news lines are saying differently now. The narratives are saying differently now. We're seeing motion happening, and it looks small at first until you roll it on over and connect it. So let's start with, okay, the just before, 30th, 31st, okay, we have that, the sanctions for Russia and Iran being involved in you-know-what. Okay, and the Treasury, Department of the Treasury, are the ones who issued that, issued those sanctions. So tell me why, darling, that at the same time that was happening, China was trying to hack into the Department of the Treasury workstations. Okay, so China, Iran, and Russia, all right? And like I said in one of my pieces today, which people who don't have authority to do so have been meeting with some of those folks publicly, documented, recorded, and folks said, why are they letting him go talk to the leaders of Iran about America? That's weird. Why are they letting him do it? So, in the additional, the order, I forgot the one, the 1404, the one, the one I'm talking about, the one that's got everyone else's attention, which we discussed in a prior video. I was talking about some different pieces of it, and the part that popped up and became the most pertinent right now, which I glossed over before, was how deep the seizures can go if there is suspected or attempted activity in partnership with or on behalf of any of these Russian companies or whoever they are, you know what I'm saying? So, and like I said on the piece, that junk drawer is just chock full of people that we know for a fact are agents of Ruski. We know it. They put it on their TV and celebrating. We're like, hey, that's another one of our assets. So again, and we were like, that's weird. We're just letting this happen. Okay, so those were a couple little drippy drops. Now, last night, this morning, we had some weird things, right? We had the tragedy in New Orleans where someone rented a car using Turo and drove from Texas to Louisiana. The backstory so far is he was really upset and depressed with his marriage and family, and then decided to go take it out on people in Louisiana instead. And I heard something about him self-identifying as ISIS, but I don't know if that's true or if they just said that because he's got, a name that sounds a certain way. And you know how folks get with that, especially since he's an American-born citizen. Again, so they're going to try to lean on that. So, but the Turo thing was interesting because the Cybertruck that appeared in front of Trump Tower filled with fireworks that the news wanted to act like, was this an accident? Those were fireworks. Was that an accident? Sure, it was an accident. Okay. Not a message. Again, I think that one they said was rented with Turo as well. So some very interesting, obvious, I don't want to say just distractions, but it gives some people certain vibes. And just throw that in the mix with things like Elon Musk permanently kind of just moving into Mar-a-Lago. And I've heard the bots come in and say every excuse, right? From he's there for Trump's Secret Service, which is not true. He has his own protection entourage that is massive. So that's not it. Or I forgot what other people said, but y'all, like, where is Vance? If someone was supposed to be living with that dude right now, it would be his Veep, not his backer, not his sugar daddy. Why is his sugar daddy in there? Like I said on the pieces, no wireless communications, as long as they're right on top of each other. There's nothing that can be monitored from the outside. And they're in there gearing up, right? First boyfriend is changing his name, changing his little profile picture. He's leaning into his fashy, schmatzy kind of shtick, kind of subliminally trying to get their people ready to get riled up. Same thing with Dumpty, someone who should be celebrating the fact that he's about to go in and nothing's in his way. He's good and clear, right? There's no problem, right? There's nothing happening, right? The bots keep telling me that. So why is he worried? Because he keeps talking a lot about having to fight and not blowing this opportunity and reminding everyone how, everything was perfectly fine and just things that seem very weird to mention if you are perfectly clear. Okay. Now I want to bring in some other little sprinkles that are tied in different parts. So I just want to say them before I forgot. Okay. We already know that the attempt, right? Someone's scratched ear was bullshit. And it was quietly announced by the FBI that he was not, he was not hit by that. Okay. Which we knew, but it was stated officially that was a lie. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind in terms of how far certain people are willing to go to distract or, because someone lost their life that day. Similar to what just happened in New Orleans. We don't know because he didn't make it. Right? Right? Now they're saying that they don't think he worked alone. Of course not. So, we'll see how deep that rabbit hole goes. I also want to remind y'all that a few weeks ago, Putinesca told his people that are here in the States, to go home. And he warned people that are still there not to travel to the States. That was a few weeks ago. He said, come back if you're there and don't go there if you were planning to. And we were like, that's interesting. And then, well, what do you know? Currently, right now, folks are about to start getting assets seized if it looks like they had connections to certain things and may or may not have interfered in certain things on behalf of companies that have ties to a certain place. So, just things that seem to kind of go together in this quilt that we're piecing. We also have a lieutenant general, I speak English today, who, again, said outright and flatly that first boyfriend is a national security risk. Not suspected, not we think so, is. Said fully that they are aware of his communications with Putinesca that has gone over for years. Have we not been saying that this is years? Okay? All right? Look, Lamestream couldn't even tell you what was going on with the Cybertruck. They were like, is it a message? Like, yeah, it's a message. I mean, it's a distraction of a message. It's a lot of things going on, and we've got a new session that's about to start on the Thoid and a Thoidification process that's supposed to start on the 6th. And like we've been saying, election issues stay with Congress. The Supreme Court reaffirmed that little case where they were like, oh no, he said there was no insurrection. No. And talking about pulling his name off the ballot. And they said the states can't do it. And of course, that's where the Mad Hatters turned out and were like, yeah, and they never listened to the rest because it sits with Congress. So that means, yes, if Congress says, you know what, disqualified, then yeah, all those get thrown out in whatever states they say they get thrown out in. And that would be the decision. That's not the only path, but it is an option of what could happen. So there are some things that could happen here, and to not acknowledge that would be amiss.